Hi everybody, it's Storytime with Alicia again, and this week it's Hanukkah, so I thought I would read a Hanukkah book, and I would teach you a Hanukkah craft, which will be how to make your own dreidel, a homemade dreidel. And then I'm also going to play a song, and it's going to be different because I'm not going to sing it, but I'm going to play it on an accordion. And it's not a Hanukkah song necessarily, but it's a song that is played for Jewish celebrations. So maybe you could play it at Hanukkah. And it's called Hava Nagila. So I'm going to get ready to play that. Okay, so I'm going to play this accordion. This is my accordion. And this is how I put it on. It has little straps on the back. And it's kind of cool because it's like a keyboard that you can wear, and you can like stand up and walk around and play it. So that's kind of neat, huh? It's pretty heavy, so you can also sit and kind of lean it on your knee. So once I open it up, it has keys like a piano, but it has these funny buttons on the side too, so that when I push either one of these keys or one of these buttons, it makes a sound. So these are all chords. And this, every time I push one, it makes a sound. This gets bigger or smaller, so I can pull it out or I can push it in. And that's where the sound comes from, inside these bellows. There's little reeds in there that push air in and out that makes different sounds depending on what note you push. So there's the piano side and the chord side. So now I'm going to play Hava Nagila for you guys, okay? Okay, the book I'm going to read today is called The Hanukkah Mice. It was the first night of Hanukkah. The mouse family scampered out of their mouse hole and up the basement stairs. There's their little mouse hole. That's very nice. They watched Mr. Silman, one of the big people, lift the shamus candle, say the prayers, and light the first Hanukkah candle. And there they are. Now it's time for Rachel to open her first Hanukkah gift, he said. Rachel couldn't wait. She unwrapped the big box in the middle of the living room. She gasped at what she saw, an exquisitely carved dollhouse with a porch and white trim that wrapped around the outside like the frosting on a wedding cake. Each window had a set of tiny lace curtains on it. It's beautiful, Rachel said. May I play with it now? Not until after dinner, said Mrs. Silman. Mindy Mouse tugged her little brother's tail. Mitchell, it's just the right size for us, she whispered. Yeah, you're right, said Mitchell. The mouse family watched the Silmans eat their holiday supper. They watched Rachel play with the dollhouse after dessert. So they're always right behind watching. They scurried behind Mr. Silman as he carried the dollhouse to Rachel's room. They watched as Rachel finally fell asleep. Then Mindy poked Mitchell. Come on. Let's explore. Shh, said Mama. Hurry, said Papa. The mice skittered inside the dollhouse. This place would be really cool if it had some furniture, said Mitchell. Look at me, I could do somersaults, said Mindy. Oh, that looks like fun. They have a house just their size. On the second night of Hanukkah, the mouse family watched Mr. Silman light the second candle. Rachel opened another Hanukkah gift. It was a miniature wing-back chair with a little matching stool. Just right for tiny feet, said Rachel. When the Mouse family visited the dollhouse later that night, the wing chair was sitting in the living room. Papa settled into it with a smile. Look who's peeking in. She knows they're in there. She seems like she's okay with it. On the third night, Rachel's gift was a little sofa. She laughed, just right for a tiny family. And sure enough, later that night, the Mouse family found it next to the wingback chair. Look at me, said Mindy, bouncing up and down on the cushions as Mitchell threw a pillow at her. On the fourth night, Rachel got a set of little plates, just right for tiny latkes, she said. When the Mouse family saw the plates later, they had tiny latkes with applesauce on them. Yum, said Mitchell. I wonder where these latkes came from, Mama said. So I think somebody made them little tiny food for their plates. On the fifth night, there was a bureau in the bedroom with some Hanukkah gelt. Little coins. And on the sixth night, 2 beds appeared, each with a dreidel on the pillow. Hey, said Mindy, giving one a spin. Wow, said Mitchell, spinning the other. I wonder where all this came from, said Mama. I think she might know. Then, on night number 7, Rachel's gift was a table and chairs. The Mouse family found them right in the middle of the dollhouse dining room. The table was covered with a special Hanukkah cloth. I wonder where that tablecloth came from, said Mama. Someone's giving them extra special treats. On the last night of Hanukkah, Rachel's 8th gift was a new miniature menorah. Perfect, she said. You see that in her hand? When the menorah turned up on the dollhouse dining table, together with a festive holiday meal, the Mouse family gathered around. Our very own menorah for our very own Hanukkah, said Papa, and so much wonderful food. He lit all 8 electric candles and said the prayers. Happy Hanukkah, said Mindy and Mitchell. Happy Hanukkah, said Papa. I wonder where all this came from, said Mama. And from under the covers, Rachel smiled. I think I know who gave them all that food and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna make a homemade dreidel today, and here's all the supplies you're gonna need. Empty cardboard box, light cardboard box, it's like a cereal box, works. And a ruler, scissors, pencil, and a marker. And as an example, here's a store-bought dreidel, but we're gonna make this pencil dreidel, and I'll show you how to do that. So I cut a big section out of the box of cereal and I turn it this way. So now we're going to measure 3 inches for each side. We're going to make a square with that measures 3 inches on each side. So we'll go 3 there, 3 there, and then we just kind of cut it as straight as we can. Let's maybe straighten this one out a little bit. Like that. It's a little bit curved, but you can straighten it out. So then you've got your square. So now you want to take the same ruler and you want to draw some diagonal lines. A diagonal line right down the middle. Like that. Okay, and now you want to draw the little symbols on there. And now I'll show you what each of these symbols are. So this is, I wrote this dreidel rules, so you can pause this if you want to look at it and when you play the game so you remember how to play it. So each of those little symbols on the side are going to be what we draw, something that looks kind of like that. So I've got my marker and I'm going to draw these symbols. So there's one that looks like this. That one is called hay. There's one that looks like this. I kind of did that right. And that one is called Gimel. And there's one that's called, let's see, what's the next one? There's one called Nun, and it looks like this. And then there's one called Shin, and it looks kind of like a W, but just kind of more curvy, like that. And then all you do is you take a pencil and you just poke a hole in the middle with your pencil. That might be hopefully a little sharper than mine. If you can't get it started with the pencil, you can, I'll use this one. You can use some scissors, maybe some parents' help for this part to get started. Then you just push it in, and there you've got it. So now you've got your very own dreidel. And when you want to spin it, since it's made of a pencil or a colored pencil like mine is, then you can just put some scrap paper down so when you spin it, you don't get marks on your table. Okay? Okay, so we've got our dreidel, and this is how we play the game. You can rewind and go back to where I showed the page of rules if you need to study them a little more. But it's pretty simple. You just have to remember what each symbol means. So I've got 2 players to play with me, and we're playing with chocolate chips, little tiny ones. So I gave everybody 10, 10, 10, oops, and 10 over there. And we're all going to start by putting one of our chocolate chips in the center, or the pot. Okay, so everybody put one of theirs right here. And that'll be, whoopsie, that'll be what we call the pot. Now, first player roll or spin. Go ahead. There you go. Now what's facing you? Let's show the camera. That one is called Gimel, and that's the one you want. That means you take everything from there and add it to your pile. That's what everybody wants, is this symbol called Gimel. All right, you go ahead and spin now. Next person's turn. Hey, you got the, I guess we all needed to add one to the pot. When somebody takes one from the pot, then everybody goes back and adds one more. Okay, so you got it, and now you get the whole pot again. Go ahead. We forgot to add before we spin. Okay, now I'll add one more. Go ahead. There we go. Now I'll take my turn. Let's see. Sometimes it helps if you hold it like this. Oop, what did I get? Wait, what? It's always landing on Gimel. I gotta take the pot. We gotta get something else. Maybe it's weighted funny. All right, let's all put one back in the pot. And you can play this game as long as you want until you're done. And then spin. See if you get something besides Gimel. Maybe if you guys make yours more straight lined edges than I did, it wouldn't always land on. Hey, there's a different one that landed on that. That one is called hay. This one right there. And hay means you take half of the pot. So that means if there's, so this is 3, right? What's half of 3? There's not an equal number, is there? So we round up. So, because if it was 2, we would take 1. But since it's 3, we can take 2. So if this happened, if I rolled that, that's none, which is kind of, it sounds like nothing. What it is. It's nothing. I get nothing, and it's the next person's turn. But if I rolled that, I would have to put one in, which is probably the worst one, because then you have to get rid of your stuff. And then you can decide on an end, and then you can even make it, you know, a time limit, or say so many spins, or so many rounds, and then you can all count up what's in your pot. And then whoever has the most wins. And when you're all done, if you're playing with chocolate chips, you can eat them. So I hope you guys like making this little dreidel game. I hope you have fun playing it. All right, bye-bye.